my favorite season. It's Christmas time. And that means that I get to make all the Christmas cookie boxes. So every year we make Christmas cookie boxes for our coworkers, our church family, our regular family, our friends, just any loved ones or anybody that we think needs some Christmas cookies. And we've only been doing it for a couple of years, but it's one of our favorite traditions. Everybody gets involved. Well, Bryson gets involved. Zeke, not so much. So I thought we could do a little mini YouTube series about how I make, prep, prepare, package, all the things Christmas cookies. So each year we do 10 types of cookies. And we try to stay under a specific budget. This year we stayed under $150 to make or to buy all of our ingredients from Walmart. And that actually included $15 for pants for my son. So it was like only $135 total for all the ingredients. Had to buy my son some pants because he was still rocking the 12-month pants, but they were starting to look like capris on him. He's a year and a half, so finally I just put him in some 18-month pants. So yeah, about $135 for all the ingredients. We'll talk about that really fast. In just a few minutes, we'll go through that quick cookie haul. But I thought before we did that, I could tell you what types of cookies we're making. I will put up a picture, hopefully, of anything that we are making that I can get a picture of, and then I will link down all of the recipes below. The only recipe that I'm not using straight offline is going to be my mother's molasses recipe. So I have this really old school molasses recipe written in her handwriting, which means it's barely legible, but that's how a good recipe should be. For molasses cookies, these are my favorite. They're so good. And yes, they call for Crisco. We're gonna take a moment to honor and appreciate the Crisco because sometimes you just need some Crisco in your life. So that's the only recipe that's coming off of a card. We're also going to be making, I had to write it down because I tried to film this once already and forgot them all because I have pregnancy brain. Only 8 more weeks, people, until this little girl is here and I'm not pregnant anymore. All right, so Mama's molasses, we just talked about that. We're gonna do a basic frosted sugar cookie, just sugar cookie trees with a basic frosting and some sprinkles. We're gonna do a mini Linzer cookie. So a little round sandwich cookie with a hole cut out and filled with raspberry jam. They're so good and dusted with powdered sugar. Ugh, they're delicious. It's an Ina Gardner recipe, so what do you expect? We're gonna be making snickerdoodles. I'm gonna attempt chocolate swirl meringues for the first time ever. I've never made meringues. I'm gonna make some pistachio drop cookies. These are like round little ball cookies that have a brown butter glaze on top of them and they are delicious. Our small group leader's wife makes them sometimes and they're so good. So we're gonna do Magic 5 cookies, which have chocolate chips, butterscotch chips, oats, shredded coconut, and pecans. I'm really excited about that. We're gonna make double chocolate chip espresso cookies. Excited about that also. We're gonna make a classic shortbread because everybody needs a classic shortbread for the holidays. And then lastly, we're gonna make our favorite chocolate chip recipe, which just happens to come off the back of a Ghirardelli chocolate chip bag. So yeah, let's jump in to that grocery haul. I'll show you what I got, everything that we need for the upcoming cookie baking fest. And then at the end of the video, I'll kind of give you a rundown of what we're gonna do and how I, as a working mom, make this work. All right, here is my cookie haul from Walmart. So we have 20 pounds of all-purpose flour, 10 pounds of granulated sugar, 4 pounds of brown sugar, a thing of butterscotch chips and semi-sweet chips, 60 ounces of this dark chocolate chip by Ghirardelli. I always just go ahead and stock up on the paper goods that we use or the plastic goods too, because I don't want to rely on what's on my pantry. So we've got a thing of parchment, a thing of plastic wrap, some freezer bags because I'm gonna freeze most of this dough. So I'm gonna go ahead and make at least 3 or 4 of the cookies today and then freeze them. So I got some more gallon bags and some press and seal. And then I have 13 pounds of butter, a thing of Crisco because you just can't beat Crisco and molasses cookies. some baking powder, vanilla, almond extract, raspberry preserves, some instant coffee. I couldn't find any instant espresso. It just doesn't exist right now. Supply chain issues, I guess. So I'm hoping that the instant coffee will work the same way. A huge thing of ground cinnamon, a thing of baking soda, some of the special dark cocoa powder by Hershey's, 2 of these big things of oats. I need 9 cups, and I just didn't want to trust that this whole thing was 9 cups. I probably could have done the math, but I'll just use the whatever's left over from my granola. A thing of toasted coconut flakes, some pecans, and did I already say powdered sugar? If not, and a thing of powdered sugar. I actually should have 2. No, maybe I only needed 1. I don't know. I think I actually only needed 3 pounds of powdered sugar. So, and I have 2 in my pantry, so I will rely on my pantry for that. So yeah, here it is. So up next, we can get started on baking all of the cookies. All right, guys, that's most of the ingredients for the cookies. I am missing pistachios, which I just ordered off of Amazon, and eggs, but those are currently in the fridge. So we also need like 36 eggs or some crazy amount of eggs. So what I'm gonna do in the next video is gonna be me prepping all of this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prep the molasses cookies, the sugar cookies, the snickerdoodles, the pistachio, the Magic 5, the double chocolate espresso, the shortbread, and the chocolate chip. I am just gonna go ahead and make all the dough for that. I'm gonna shape it and I'm gonna freeze it. And then I'm just gonna have bags of frozen cookie dough. And so I'm gonna do that over the next 2 weeks. And then the week of the 10th or the 10th through the 12th, I'm gonna just spend the whole weekend baking all of it. So this is the fastest way for me to do it. I don't wanna bake the cookies. You could bake them and then freeze them, but I just want them to have the best possible quality. So we're gonna go ahead and make all the dough and freeze it, and then just spend 2 days going on a wild baking rampage. And it's gonna be so fun. So stay tuned for the next video in which we prep all the cookie dough and I eat way more cookie dough than I need to and have restless leg syndrome for days, because that's what happens when I eat sugar and I'm pregnant. So we'll see you soon. Happy holidays! Thanks for joining me.